stay by your gate. Stay by your gate. Please don't go too far from your gate. They kept saying that over the loudspeaker. When we were at gate 15, which is all the way in the back of God's face. We had to go all the way up to the front just to use the bathroom to get food. Like that. I mean, walked a mile. You hear me? And so they saying, like, if you plan on leaving, try to stay in the area. Don't go too far. And I feel like with us, with people of God, with people who are healing, with people who have desires and wants for their life, we look at delay as such a problem, and we lose sight of the fact that we're supposed to be doing something. We're supposed to be going somewhere, and we find ourselves being busy doing other things, and we prolong the delay. God is not giving you what you want right now because you're not prepared. Maybe God is not giving you what you want right now because you're not exactly what He needs you to be in order for you to be successful in the areas that your heart desires. Hey y'all, it's your little big sis CJ Renee, and we're back with another episode. Y'all, it's been a lovely vacation. I spent a week, well actually 10 days in Jamaica. And so I tried to keep up with, posting and making my videos. But y'all, I had to vacate. I had to relax and release some energy, okay? I had to have fun because, what? When I came back, I had so much stuff to come back to. I was like, you know what? Let me just be here, be in the moment, be focused. I love y'all with all my heart, but y'all's going to be okay for 10 days. 10 days is not going to kill y'all. Anyway, when I was on vacation, I got a word listening to just some inspirational music while writing in my journal, because I did say I was going to journal, and I definitely did journal. And while I was journaling, the word that kept coming to me was delayed. And I thought about, how when we want something in our lives, whether it be healing, whether it be a job or money or children or a relationship or that business idea that, pop off the way we expected it to, whatever it is, when we want something, we want it now. We put in the hard work, and we feel like the hard work that we put in should pay off right away, immediately. Because if you want it, you work hard for it. That's what we're taught. And that's granted, there's, in some cases, that makes a lot of sense. In some cases, it's proven. But there's the case of being aligned with what God has for you. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work hard for what it is that you're getting from God. There's no do this, do that, do this, do that layout plan that gets you into heaven. There's no do this, do that, do this, do that gets you into God's good graces. It really is, it really depends on the relationship that you have with God and what God has for you to do on this earth. My sister and I were speaking once, and she explained to me how grace works, right? Because we all sit around and we think that we all have the same level of grace, and it's not true. If that was the case, then the people who were having sex with their brother and sister in the Bible would be going to hell. But there's a certain level of grace for everyone. You can't do that today. That's not something you can do today. That's actually lawfully wrong to do. Like, law of the land lawfully. So, I feel like understanding that there's a difference in grace helps you to better understand your relationship with God, which also then helps you better understand what God is trying to do for you specifically. You specifically, He has ideas in mind. He has a plan in mind. Let me close this because I don't know if it's loud. He has an idea in mind of what He wants you to do with your life, that He's planned for you to do in this world. And because of that, certain things have to be in place. Certain things have to be done. Certain things have to be matured. Certain areas have to be fulfilled, And so you may not be able to reach where you want to reach at the time that you want to reach it because there's other areas in play. So So the way I thought about it was like an airplane. I took a flight to Jamaica, obviously, right? And on my flight back to America from Jamaica, it was delayed. And I was upset. I'm not gonna lie. I was supposed to get back to America by at least 2-3 o'clock the latest, right? I left my hotel at basically 5:50 to be at the airport for a 9 o'clock flight, which they delayed it to 10. So I was basically in the airport for about 4 hours, just sitting around waiting for my flight, that then further got delayed to 11. And I know, like, the thought of being delayed is so annoying. I mean, I can tell you, a lot of people who travel, they are annoyed when it comes to delays. They get pissed off, they get antsy, they get frustrated because you don't know what is the delay about. That's what you want to know. What is the delay about, right? What are we being delayed for? Is it weather? Is it a BOMB threat? Is it something wrong with the pilot, something wrong with the plane? It's all these things that go through your mind, and you're trying to figure it out. So that's the first frustration. The second frustration is you got somewhere to be. You don't want to be in the airplane all day. You don't want to be in the airport all day. You don't want to, you want to get your stuff. You want to change your clothes. Whatever the case may be, you start thinking about all these things, and the frustration of being delayed starts to set in. And this doesn't just happen with traveling on a plane. It doesn't just happen with airports. It happens in life itself. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, I planned to be married from the time I was 20. I wanted to be married at 20 years old. I wanted to be a young bride. Okay, I wanted to have kids early. I wanted to discover the world, and I wanted to be able to be financially stable. I wanted to have multiple businesses. I wanted to have a husband that understands my go-getterness and actually is a go-getter himself. I wanted to have a relationship with God where I can do the things of God, and I can preach, and I can minister, and I can go from place to place preaching about the goodness of Jesus. But God had to allow me to go through some things. I had to be seasoned. I had to be prepared for what it is I was supposed to be doing in life. And so I was delayed. I've been delayed. In order for me to heal people and to help people to get through the things that they have to get through, I had to have also experienced it myself. You can't take nobody where you haven't been. So God delayed me and allowed me to bump my face against these problems and smack my face against domestic violence, rape, sexual abuse, physical abuse. He allowed me to see what drug addiction was like. He allowed me to see what insecurity feels like. He allowed me to see that it's not cookie cutter situations. Like, it's not a one size fit all. Like, everybody goes through different versions of the same pain, right? Like, your domestic violence may be that your parents was fighting each other. My domestic violence was that I was getting beat up by my boyfriend, by my ex-fiance. Like, everybody's situation is different, but domestic violence still hurts, right? Domestic violence still leaves a scar, right? Whether it was done to you or you saw it being done. Same as with everything else. So I had to be delayed in order for God to season me in what it is that He has for me to do, the purpose that He has for my life, which is to heal, help, deliver, set free. That is my purpose. That is what God's called me to do. I'm not going to be completely focused on doing the will of God if I'm being distracted by kids, by a husband, by multiple businesses all at one time. That is going to take a toll on what God has already put in me for me to do. Sometimes we get distracted and prolong our delay. We get distracted, we prolong our delay. That's like when they were calling over the airport speaker to say that there's a delay. They said, stay by your gate. Stay by your gate. Please don't go too far from your gate. They kept saying that over the loudspeaker. We were at gate 15, which is all the way in the back of God's face. We had to go all the way up to the front just to use the bathroom to get food. Like that. I mean, walked a mile. You hear me? And so they saying, like, if you plan on leaving, try to stay in the area. Don't go too far. And I feel like with us, with people of God, with people who are healing, with people who have desires and wants for their life, we look at delay as such a problem, and we lose sight of the fact that we're supposed to be doing something. We're supposed to be going somewhere, and we find ourselves being busy doing other things, and we prolong the delay. Like, we go all the way to the other end to go use the bathroom, in this case of the airport, right? You go to the other end to use the bathroom, and now they're calling for people to be boarded, but you're nowhere to be found. You was just there. What happened? Now we got to leave you, and now you got to stay longer than you expected because you didn't stay around. You didn't go through the delay process. Well, I just want you guys to just be mindful about the fact that just because you are being delayed does not mean that you're being denied access to, or you're being denied the ability to do so. Try to think about how much God loves you. Try to think about how much He cares about you. I remember one time I was talking to my mom about the situation that happened, and I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you guys go. I remember one time I was talking to my mom about the situation that happened to me when I was a kid, and she wasn't there, so I had to tell her what happened. And I'm like, it was an incident where this guy that went to the church that I was raised in was buying snacks out of the vending machine. And I'm such a hungry little cookie monster. Like, I wanted to eat what he had. And he took a bite of it. He said, "You want some?" I said, "Yeah." He took a bite of it. And after he finished taking a bite of it, he handed it to me and put it towards my mouth. If you have kids, watch them, because people are weird. But yeah, so he put it in my mouth, and now to this day I hate coconut because it was a coconut treat. I hate coconut because it was covered in his saliva, and I could taste his saliva in the coconut mixture, and it was very disgusting to me. Turned me completely off of coconut. Don't like coconut anymore. And she said, "Oh my gosh, he did that? That's gross." And I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "I wish you were there to stop him." And she started laughing. I'm like, "I'm so serious. I probably would have been upset, but I would have been thankful to this day because I didn't have that memory." And I say all that to say this. God is not giving you what you want right now because you're not prepared, maybe. God is not giving you what you want right now because you're not exactly what He needs you to be in order for you to be successful in the areas that your heart desires. So instead of being so concerned with the fact that you don't have it yet, be thankful that God is preparing you to have it. Be thankful that God is putting you in a level of maturity where you can understand it and handle it better than you would have now. So just keep that in mind. You're not being told no. You're not being pushed away. You're not being kept from what you have desires in your heart to do. God really wants you to have those things. He just wants you to have them and be able to keep them. So don't be mad at the delay. The delay is there to protect you. The delay is there to keep you. The delay is there to cover you. Let the delay happen. I love you guys. It's your little big sis, CJ Renee, and this has been an episode of 31 and Driving. Bye. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to share. It's your little big sis, CJ Renee.